Oh, go figure. Look at that. Oh, look at that. Just look at it. Just look at it.
Yeah, well.
What the heck is that? You got to look at it this way, okay? You just got to look at it. That's all you can do anymore.
A few weeks ago, I went to the beach for a few days and had my tank sitter keep an eye on the tank. And as luck would have it, the ATO went bad. The tank sitter couldn't figure out which power cord the ATO was to replace it, so it's time to fix the issue. The plan is to have all of the EB8's wiring diagram on the back side of the cabinet door, so when the door is taken off, the wiring diagram legend is easily readable. The first thing to do is grab all of the outlet information off of the apex and start laying out which device is connected to which plug number. I applied white duct tape to the back side of the door. Collect a bunch of measurements and sketch up the EB8 placement. I take a long piece of white electrical tape and slice small sections. These will be placed on each of the used EB8 outlets. Notice some are missing. That's because the outlet isn't being used. The tape was used, so I can easily remove it in the future if an outlet is changed. Now my tank sitter will no longer be able to bother me on my vacation and curse the shit out of me for not labeling my EB8s. Perfect. Another issue I've been putting off for a while is killing all the Vermatid snails that have completely taken over in my tank. These things suck. They create spider webs to collect food out of the water column, and it really pisses off my corals, which really pisses me off. Today I'm going to try and kill as much of them as I can so they don't spread even more than they already have. So my plan here is to do 2 different water changes. And for one water change, I'm going to take out this main rock right here and clean the rock as best as I can. And you really can't see it, but one of the corals in the back that was leaning against the rock just to keep it up so it wasn't on the glass has actually grown onto the rock. So what I have to do is break that coral off of the rock and then take that rock out of the water, place it in one of the 5-gallon buckets, clean the rock as best as I can, and then dip it into the other 5-gallon bucket and then put it into the tank. So the first thing I'm going to do is do a 10-gallon water change, so I have 2 5-gallon buckets. And then I'm going to take the frags off of the rock one by one and then take the rock out of the water. And so now what I did is I just scraped all the algae off the front glass and off the rear glass and off the bottom of the glass, and that's why the water is a little hazy right now. But that's okay because everything's going into a filter sock from the exit PVC. So now I'll wait for this to clear a little bit, and then the next thing I will do is I will remove all of those frags off of this piece of rock, break that mother colony off, and as you can see, this mother colony has just stuck itself right to this main rock. So I'm going to break this mother colony off first and then go from there. So I started breaking the rock up and then just decided that it's probably a good time to just go ahead and do a 10-gallon water change. So I had my 2 5-gallon buckets full with water. Now the next thing I'm going to do is just pump 10 gallons back into the aquarium, then take the rock out and start cleaning the rock off. And now that the 10-gallon water change is complete, the next thing I'm going to do is take this rock out of the tank and put it into one of the 5-gallon buckets. And the next thing I'm going to try to do, and hopefully I do this correctly without breaking anything off, is try to get the frag off, which that was very easy. And I'm just using a screwdriver. Oh, there goes another one. There goes another one. And I'm going to try to get this plug off, which very easy. All right. So what I'm going to do next is put these frags back into the tank. All right, now that we've got our rock, what I have here is just a piece of acrylic rod, and I just kind of scrape the rock as best as I can to knock off all of the debris, and hopefully this kills it. Probably won't. And then when I'm satisfied with that, I take a razor blade and then scrape the top as best as I can. Get all that crap right off so that the frag has something clean to mount to. And while I was breaking a frag off, I accidentally broke off one of the arms to the rock. So what I'm going to do next is take my super glue and glue this back on. And once the piece has finished setting from the super glue, give this a nice good rinse, and this will go right back into the aquarium. And after getting everything back into the tank, and I haven't glued the frags yet, after taking about a 10-minute break, I decided I'm going to do both of the rocks. So I'll take the frags off. And these aren't super glued. There is one super glued, but I'll get that off really easy. And I'll start with this one. And after this one, there's one more to clean. There was a ton of scraping and a ton of stuff that came off those rocks. Hopefully I got rid of most of it on the first go round. I think I'm going to need to do this maybe 3 or 4 times. But you can see all that stuff came out. This was the ledge on one of the rock structures. I'm just not going to put back on. I don't think I'm ever going to put zoas in here, so that's out. And these extra frag plugs that I'm no longer using are scrap. What I'm going to do next is empty these 2 buckets and then start gluing the frags back onto the rock formations. And this is just a quickie before I glue the frags on. You can see how well they came out. And what I'm doing next is taking the frags and inspecting them, getting off any other crusties that should not be on the frag. And then once I'm happy, I will take a little bit of super glue, arrange the frag where I want it to be seen, and then plop it right onto the rock. Make sure I'm happy with that. And then continue this process with the rest of the frags. Instead of a shallower reef, this series should be called Bad Luck Reef. Around 6 a.m., both my Apex and my phone woke me up to this. The calc reservoir had somehow split clean down the rear seam, directly in the center, emptying an estimated 5 to 6 gallons of water, which overflowed from my cabinet, all over the floor. And not just any type of water, but calc water. Once again, the towels were brought out, fans turned on high, and the home heater cranked all the way up for 3 days straight. The trusty 3-gallon jug was brought out of hibernation to provide essential calc solution to the tank. Until I find a better solution, the trusty jug is staying for a while. It's a huge eyesore, and it doesn't hold much, but it does work. You can't see it very well, but once the calc has dried, it leaves a very thick white chalky substance behind. It's almost impossible to get this stuff out of the rug. After numerous vacuum passes, it still lingers. Faulty craftsmanship, more damaged areas of the reservoir after shipping? I don't know what happened, and I am not going to speculate. It's cracked, it's done. I am not going to try and fix it. After yet another spill on the floor, I don't trust this at all. I am probably going to cut this up to use as refugium baffles in my sump. Like, subscribe, yada yada yada. I'll see you on the next one.
Oh, go figure. Look at that. Oh, look at that.